Hey everybody, KC here. No, I am not in my office. I have to say, I'm on the road. Got a speaking gig in Florida. It is so nice to be someplace warm. It's great to have, the sun just feels great. Of course, if I were a little bit less dedicated, I'd be out by the pool as opposed to in my room working. But listen, it's just nice to be someplace warm. It was interesting to read a story in the New York Times this weekend about a company called WoodSpoon. And basically the story talked about, well, it started with this premise. There's a woman, she lives in Brooklyn, and every day she makes all this food in her kitchen, and it's Surinamese food. And she makes things like goat curry and root vegetables and her own version of chicken chow mein. And I got to tell you, the way the Times described it, I could smell it coming off the page. And then what she does is she packages it all up, and then she hands it to a driver from a company called WoodSpoon. And WoodSpoon delivers it to her clients. I think what happens is that WoodSpoon takes a piece of the action. And what they've enabled her to do is they've enabled her to actually get into the catering business. The interesting thing about this is she's in Brooklyn, New York. This is illegal in Brooklyn, right? You're not allowed to start just cooking things and catering things out of your own kitchen and then selling it on the market. You're just not allowed to do that. You know, you have to be licensed. You have to be approved. There are health issues that people have to think about. And she knows she's not supposed to be doing it. And WoodSpoon knows she's not supposed to be doing it, but they're doing it anyway. And in fact, WoodSpoon is a 3-year-old startup. It's attracted millions of dollars in venture capital. And they've got like 300 of these kinds of people, not just in New York, who are making meals in their kitchens, and WoodSpoon is facilitating the delivery of those products to their clients. And the point the Times makes is that WoodSpoon is sort of this part of this broader shift that is taking place in the food industry. And WoodSpoon's attitude, and quite frankly, the woman in Brooklyn, her attitude is, yeah, we know we're breaking the rules, but the rules are outdated. And they characterize this as being part of something larger, you know, the whole ghost kitchen movement, the way that fast food places have added drive-thrus to more than ever before. And it's sort of interesting. And what they're doing is they're creating this, what the Times calls an underground network of selling food to friends and family into the mainstream. And they're doing it through apps, aiming to reach those who have developed meal fatigue during the pandemic, weary of trying to find that new inventive restaurant in their neighborhood. And they want to, they just want something different. And they're fulfilling a need. And the other thing they're doing is they're positioning this as part of the gig economy. And it's really fascinating because you read about the way they're sort of blatantly violating the rules. And at some level, what they are is they're doing within the catering business what companies like Uber and Lyft did to the taxi business, or Airbnb did to the hotel business, right? They're challenging existing business models. Now, I'm a big favor of disruption. I get a little bit leery about the idea of disrupting health laws. There are a lot of potential challenges there, but it's really sort of interesting. But it also suggests to me a kind of an opportunity for traditional supermarket companies. I mean, this is yet another case where you've got this outside company, WoodSpoon, and there are probably others like it, that are coming in and disrupting the way that people are getting their meals, okay? One of the ways people traditionally have gotten their meals is from supermarkets, either because they're buying the food making at home or they're buying takeout or whatever it happens to be. And it seems to me this is like an opportunity for aggressive, ambitious supermarkets to sort of get into the business of becoming this middleman, okay, between these really interesting kitchen chefs and the people who want their food, and maybe doing it in such a way that allows them maybe not to break the rules. I mean, maybe there's a business model here that creates something new. Trying to remember, I can't remember, I remember interviewing, God, it's gotta be 25 or 30 years ago. I've been doing this for so long. But I can remember interviewing these sisters who ran a small supermarket chain. I don't think they had that many stores. and each store had its own kitchen. And they said at the time what they liked to do was hire, and I think what they said is they like to hire Italian women who were used to feeding their big families. And they were used to cooking in big pots because they knew they could make terrific food in store, and they were just sort of broadening the definition of family. And now, because there are so many different kinds of cultures, it just doesn't have to be, Italian moms. There's a lot of different ethnicities out there that supermarkets could kind of reach out to, say, how can we help you bring your food to a broader audience, make you part of the gig economy, help you make some money, and help establish ourselves and our credibility as being this really important part of the food chain. Listen, I just think that supermarkets have to be careful about these companies like WoodSpoon, and good for them trying to do the things that they're trying to do, but they have to figure out ways of how can we be disruptive within our own businesses. It's the old thing about you figure out how somebody else could try and put you out of business, then you do it because you'd rather do it than have somebody else do it. And this strikes me as yet another example of how to do that. Anyway, that is what's on my mind this morning. And as always, I want to hear what's on your mind.